At times, Marion Campbell's felt more like a sitting duck than a Falcon, but a stingy defense, along with the high-flying Chris Miller-Sean Collins combo, have kept Atlanta close. And last week, Paul McFadden dramatically kicked the Falcons' losing habit. Meanwhile, the flight of Phoenix has been rocky. After winning their first two, the Cardinals are in a 4-game tailspin, nursing a dozen bruised and battered starters. Now, Coach Gene Stallings hopes the stars he has can stay healthy in today's Battle of the Birds. Live from Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, the Atlanta Falcons have flown west to meet the Phoenix Cardinals. It is a hot, sunny afternoon typical of this time of year. They'll be playing in 90-degree temperatures with a light wind. Forecast is for partly cloudy skies that may provide some relief. Hello, everybody. I'm Tim Ryan here at Sun Devil Stadium. And yesterday, there was a very untypical heavy rainstorm during the Arizona State-Oregon college game here. And the field is still wet and very choppy. And that could be a problem as the game proceeds. Joining me in the broadcast booth again is Randy Cross, our former San Francisco Pro Bowler. And Randy, these Falcons come in off a victory over New England last week. They feel good about themselves. Chris Miller with a game-winning drive to win it. Now, on the other hand, defense has really been the Falcons' strength.
Very much. If it wasn't for that defense, Chris Miller would have never gotten a chance last week to win that game. That defense is very much led by Tony Casillas. He's having an all-pro year, and it's very much like a typical Marion Campbell defense. They don't give up the big play.
Well, the Cardinals certainly have suffered through all kinds of problems. They got a lot of guys hurt in this last week. They lost Derek Kennard, their starting center, to a drunk driving charge. He won't be in action today. I guess the best you can say for them, at least they have Gary Hogeboom back.
That's right. They didn't have Gary Hogeboom last week because of an arthritic elbow. He's throwing the ball well this week. J.T. Smith, the NFL's #1 wide receiver, is in there. And, you know, a lot has been said about the Phoenix Cardinals. They've had the suspensions. They've had the injuries. They've had a guy leave with a weight problem. The bottom line is this team understands you don't quit on Gene Stallings. If you do quit on Gene Stallings, you're going to be quitting for somebody else.
Well, the Falcons will receive the ball first, Randy, and Aldel Greco will be kicking it off. The Cardinals to our left in white, and the Falcons to our right in red. And Deion Sanders, Mr. Excitement in his rookie year, 9 kickoff returns, over a 20-yard average, and he has been a thrill a minute. Keith Jones back there with him as the short man just in front of Sanders. He'll try to disguise Sanders back there as best he can. Del Greco does not give him much of an opportunity, and it'll be picked up by Jones at the 15. To the 37-yard line. So good field position for the Atlanta Falcons. Michael Adams made the stop for Phoenix. And Chris Miller, who had himself an outstanding day last week, 19 of 34, just 1 interception. He leads the league in that category. He's only had 2. And the young man from Oregon in his 3rd year, but really his first full year as a starter, showing that he is a very good-looking young player. Ken Radloff, Jamie Dukes, Freilich, Hoover, and Ron Heller, the former 49er, at tight end. And a quick look at their backfield with Keith Jones starting for the injured Gene Lang. Big hole up the middle for John Settle, and Settle may have a first down on the first play from scrimmage. Number 44 coming off a knee injury, and the Phoenix defensive line, as you can see, a lot of substitutes involved. Galloway is back, but they've got a rookie Jim Waller and a free agent Carl Wilson there. The linebacking core, the one they want, Bell, Hill, and Harvey. They've stayed healthy, although Hill is a rookie in the middle. Mack and Carter, Michael Zordich for the injured Lonnie Young. Michael Downs, acquired from Dallas, will be in nickel situations. On 2nd down, that is Keith Jones, and he got about a yard. I'll make it on 1st down, as Settle had picked up the first down for Atlanta, and just a yard gain for Keith Jones. Anthony Bell made the stop. Keith Jones, the Illinois rookie, the number 4 pick by Atlanta this year, and has been used effectively on 3rd down plays for them in passing situations, but getting the start with Gene Lang bothered by a quadricep injury. 2nd down and 9. Slot right, Atlanta. In motion is Michael Haynes. A lot of real estate for Settle. to the 31-yard line of Phoenix. Michael Zordich drove him out. Randy Cross, that one really opened up for them.
You know, this Atlanta offensive line has been criticized for not being able to run block effectively. They've got everybody working as a unit now for a while. And here you see the quick flip. Mike Ken gets out, pulls out in front, does a great thing. He cut blocks a guy. A guy on the ground can't make tackles. And John Settle gets out there and just starts rumbling towards that sideline. It's a good run also for John Settle because he's been out for a couple weeks. His knee's been hurting him. Get right into the game and pop a couple quick ones.
21-yard gain for John Settle. The free agent story of 1987 out of Appalachian State. Went to the Pro Bowl a year ago. Settle for about 2 straight ahead behind Jamie Dukes, his center, and the guards Freilich and Radloff.
Tackled by Harvey.
Ken Harvey and Eric Hill made the stop. It'll leave second down and about 8. Arian Campbell, who feels real good about his defense, and of course that's kind of his area of specialty, and has conceded that he's made some changes as the offenses have made changes in the NFL, and now feels that he's got the right combination of the basic stuff that he likes and some of the new wrinkles as well. One of those is Tim Green will be talking more about him. Reverse. Michael Haynes. Not much. Good coverage by the Cardinals, picking that up quickly, and Haynes got less than a yard. Ken Harvey pushed him out of bounds.
Nice job by Harvey on that play. He kept contained. The blocker was trying to scramble after him at his legs, but he fended him off and stretched that thing all the way out to the sidelines.
Ken Harvey, the second-year man from California, their #1 choice a year ago. He's really come on well in his sophomore year as a Cardinal. He's become wide receivers now. He's become a real factor on 3rd and long. In any pass rush situation, he can get after a quarterback. Stacey Bailey in at wide receiver on 3rd down along 5. But with time, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Keith Jones. So the Cardinals stopped the Falcons, who had moved smartly upfield on their opening drive. That'll bring the field goal unit on. Paul McFadden lining up near the 35 or 36-yard line.
For today, Tim, anytime they're kicking around this 30-yard line, this field's going to be a factor. The ground's a little bit looser, and it's awfully wet.
A 43-yard attempt for McFadden. As long this year is 38. He is 8 of 11. And it is no good. Wide to the right for Paul McFadden. So the Falcons come up empty, and we are scoreless in the first quarter.
Occasionally, through the sands of time, there emerge designs which are viewed as more than evolutionary. Introducing the revolutionary 1990 Toyota Celica.
This isn't an ad for diapers. This is an ad for Zenith's astonishingly automatic, high-resolution VHS camcorder. When you have a Zenith camcorder like this, babies will play a leading role. Zenith, quality.
I've made up my mind. I'm gonna do it. Why shouldn't I? I'm the one who has to look at myself in the mirror every morning. So before I lose another hair, I'm going to the doctor. I know doctors have treatment programs that are proven to work. More guys are trying them every day. I'm not bad now, but I wouldn't mind looking better.
Your doctor can really do something about hair loss. So see your doctor or call this toll-free number.
Tim Ryan and Randy Cross at Sun Devil Stadium. Phoenix first possession from their own 26-yard line. Gary Hogeboom back in action this week. Passing at nearly 60%, but he has 11 interceptions. His offensive line has 2 rookies, Mike Zandowski and Joe Wolf. And a new center, Connie Kauahi, with Kennard out because of his DUI charge here in the state of Arizona. And Tony Jordan for the injured Stump Mitchell with Farrell, Smith and Jones, the wide receivers. First down. This is Jordan. Jordan gets about 6, maybe 7 yards on the play. John Rady made the stop. It'll leave 2nd and 4. Atlanta defensively in their basic 3-4 will show Gann, Casillas, and Ben Thomas. Thomas for the injured Rick Bryant. Bruce, Rady, Tuggle, and Tim Green. You'll see Green up and down. We'll be talking more about his role. Deion Sanders, his second start on the corner, joins Case. Robert Moore for the injured Tim Gordon at safety. Gordon out with a groin injury. Inactive today. On 2nd down. Tony Jordan again. Close to a first down. John Rady made the stop, number 59. Gene Stallings, and talking with him about all of the miseries that are going on here. His spirit is indomitable. He says you got to play the schedule anyway. And I think you referred to that in your opening comments, Randy, that the players know that they've got to go out and play their best no matter what for Gene.
He doesn't want to talk about what he doesn't have. He wants to talk about what he's got, and he's awful proud of the way these guys have really acted so far this season, I should say.
Quick catch out to J.T. Smith. Got about 5 yards on first down. Jesse Tuggle on the stop, number 58. To leave 2nd and 5. Quick look at some of the action earlier. Washington and Tampa Bay. Redskins on top. Minnesota defeated Detroit 20-7. Vikings have it together again. Green Bay and Miami now tie. The Packers coming back on the Dolphins. Buffalo whipping up on the New York Jets. That's final. 2nd down from the 41. Another quick hitch pass to Smith again. The same play. 2 of them in a row gets a first down for the Cardinals. Scott Case and Deion Sanders coming over to help out, but not before Smith got the first down.
J.T. Smith is not probably the fastest receiver in the league. He's got the very sure hands, and he's shifty. Look at that quick move. Scrambles out of that tackle there and spins off for a first down. He's a heck of a delightful guy. You know, talking to him, he accepts every week as a challenge, especially when he doesn't have Roy Green on the other side to take the heat off.
49 catches on the season for Smith now. Earl Ferrell for about 2 into Atlanta territory at the 49. Tim Green on the tackle, number 99. Another look at some additional scores. Indianapolis over Cincinnati, 23-12. And Houston really beating up on the Steelers, and Pittsburgh had kind of got off the mat. Come back well the last couple of weeks, but trailing badly. Philadelphia squeezing by the Raiders, 10-7. 2nd down. 7 to go for the Cardinals at the 49 of Atlanta. Out of the backfield, Jordan got about a yard. Good defensive pursuit by the Falcons on that play, led by Scott Case, the cornerback, and Ben Thomas, the defensive end. And Kansas City over Dallas at this point in the game. And an update as Tampa Bay coming back on the Redskins.
That's a specialty of a Marion Campbell defense. They drop back into their zones. They play kind of a man within a zone, but they drop back and they react to what the offense does. If you drop the ball up in front of them, they're going to fill up there, try to cause a fumble, and hold you as few yards as possible.
Worked very effectively on the last play, leaving 3rd down. Phoenix shotgun. Good protection on the money. J.T. Smith, first down. '28-yard line of Atlanta.
J.T. Smith up top of the screen. What makes this play work? Some excellent pass protection. And Smith just runs right in here between the zones. Fine throw by Gary Hogeboom. Hits him right on the hands. And then the Falcon defensive backfield rallies in there and starts putting a few hits on J.T.
21-yard gain for the veteran J.T. Smith. Quick counts by the Cardinals. Tony Jordan got about 4. Tony Jordan, a guy that was hoping that this might be his day because he figures in the game plan in a big way. They want to run the ball more. They want him to run it more. And Jordan has said each week he hopes he can get to show what he can do. And he's hoping that maybe this is the week because he's not really had a chance.
Every week you talk to an offensive lineman, they say, hey, we want to run the ball. Louis Sharp said that yesterday, but from the look in his eye, he means it. They've got to run the ball.
Leads a 2nd and 6. Jordan, the second-year man out of Kansas State. That same hitch pass to Smith. What a move on Case. To the 5-yard line and a first down. 18-yard pickup. And watch the old man razzle-dazzle.
Tim, he doesn't like being referred to as an old man. He says, I'm only 33 years old. Great, fake him inside, go outside. He's got Scott Case tripping over his feet there, runs down. You know, JT said, I asked JT, why does Scott Case have so many interceptions? JT says, well, there's a good reason. People like to throw at him. They challenge him. JT is challenging Scott Case right here.
Case had 10 of them to lead the league a year ago. First and goal, Phoenix. Corner pass, timing to Smith, off the mark from Hogeboom.
Second down.
There's J.T. Smith. He's been a busy man in this opening series. Has had 3 catches, and they try to get the touchdown strike to him there.
He has been a steady performer now for quite a few years for the Cardinals. You know, since about, I guess it's 1986. It's a very impressive number, the amount of catches that JT has. 301 catches since 1986. Jerry Rice doesn't have that. None of the big ones have those kind of numbers.
And he's had 4 catches already in this drive. Hogeboom, first time under pressure, runs it in and gets close to the goal line. Falcons say they have the ball, but there's no signal either way. He is not in the end zone, but very close to it, and they show him down by contact. Robert Moore made the stop on him just outside the goal line.
This was not a design play. Gary drops back here, sees he's got the run. Look at this. Does he get over? Does the ball cross the plane? His knee is down. He is down. It is not a touchdown.
They spot it just outside the goal line. 3rd down.
You got to be a little nervous with a guy with an arthritic elbow out there scrambling around those defenders.
Farrell, touchdown.
I asked Earl Ferrell yesterday, Tim, I said, come on, Earl, how heavy are you? What do you weigh? They said you were 250 last week. He goes, I'm 235 pounds. I'm lean, I'm mean, I'm fast. I said, does that mean 245 or 250, Earl? He said, that's somewhere around there.
Well, they list him at 240 these days, but yeah, I think he's maybe getting away with a couple extra. Nonetheless, he ran awfully well in practice yesterday. And on Friday when we watched him, looking very fit. He was bothered by a foot injury. Point after, Del Greco. And the Cardinals, with their opening offensive possession, go 74 yards and 12 plays for the score.
4, 3, 2, 1, fire. Hit me!
You know the difference between the AC Delco parts that go into race cars and the ones that go into your car? There isn't any. If you want to win, run with a winner.
I was always a quarterback's favorite target. I never dropped the ball because I had hands like glue. And even after football, I stick with my favorite beer, Miller Lite. I don't want some watered-down version of a regular beer. I want the less filling beer that tastes great.
Why, not again.
Thanks, Sandy.
Thank you, Dwight.
Nice. There's no catch. When it's Miller Lite, less filling tastes great. When you have your film processed at Eckerd, it gets the Kodak Color Watch seal. That means that only Kodak systems and Kodak paper are used. What else? But that's not enough for Eckerd. No, because in an Eckerd lab, your film also goes through a careful inspection process. Then your prints are inspected too, and if there's a problem, it's labeled, so you can fix it next time. Only one place does all this, friends. Eckerd.
Eckerd photo processing. Nothing looks better.
Oh, that felt good.
Tim Ryan and Randy Cross at Sun Devil Stadium. 90-degree temperatures in Tempe, Arizona. The Cardinals are hot also. They marched right down the field to open the scoring at 7-0. Earl Ferrell's 1-yard run after a 74-yard drive. Deion Sanders is back deep. We see some finals now. Washington outlasting Tampa Bay, who came back on them. And Green Bay and Miami. Miami clinging to a 23-20 lead. 6 seconds remaining in that ball game. Greco lifts this one. Again, no, it will be Sanders at the 7-yard line. Good tackle by Jay Novacek. Got to be a little scary in the open field to be one-on-one with Deion Sanders, wouldn't you say?
Well, you know, special teams coaches teach you to watch the guy's belt. No matter what kind of moves he makes, watch the guy's belt. You can tackle that. Deion's belt moves, and that even has moves in it.
74 yards and 12 plays. For the Phoenix score by Earl Ferrell.
And that 1-yard run was all Earl Ferrell. That offensive line didn't get much movement. Ferrell just wouldn't stop till he got in the end zone.
First down, Falcons from their own 17. Miller wants to throw. Intercepted, no, dropped. The pressure on Miller forcing a bad pass, and Anthony Bell had a chance to take it right into the end zone, but he dropped it.
Well, Miller has his choice here of 3 Phoenix Cardinals will throw this ball to. I don't see any of the Atlanta receivers anywhere near it. Right there, right in his hands, and he drops it. Oh no, Mr. Bell. He's had a little bit of a flu, but you should have caught that one.
That was Rod Sadler. You could see on that replay, number 72, putting the pressure on Miller, and just a bad throw by Miller, who has only had 2 intercepts. 2nd and 10. John Settle. Settle nearly got loose. Ankle tackle on him at the 30-yard line by Mike Zordich, or Settle might have been in the Phoenix end zone.
Rod Dowhauer, the Atlanta Falcons offensive coordinator, told me today that he says you don't see this 4-man line too often. You got to take advantage of it when you do. You want to block back some with your center, bring your guard around, which they've done so far, and attack that middle. But a play like that, you get your guys man on man, and you give a guy like Settle all those cuts he can make. He can go right over the front, or he can cut all the way back like he just did.
Settle 47 yards on 4 carries. He missed last week's game with a knee injury. Loose ball. Cardinals have it. Rod Sadler knocked it out of the hands of John Settle, and Tim McDonald, the alert safety, comes up with it for Phoenix.
Coming into this game, Atlanta had only turned the ball over 7 times. Gets a shoulder right on the ball, drops it. Tim McDonald's Johnny on the spot, drops right on top of it. Coming into here, you figure that was something the Cardinals were going to do, Tim. They've had 25 turnovers so far. Atlanta was number 2 in the league coming into the game in fewest number of turnovers.
And that's the first fumble by a running back of Atlanta's thus far this season. From the 29-yard line, a golden opportunity. Farrell to the 25. Casillas making the stop. You can see Atlanta coming into the game just 7 turnovers. Cincinnati leading the league in that department. Phoenix, on the other hand, last in the league. 25 times they've coughed it up. Just last week, young Tom Tupa filling in for the injured Gary Hogeboom. 6 interceptions.
That's carrying philanthropy a little too far.
It sure is. On 2nd down, Farrell Breaks a tackle, gets to the 20-yard line. Got away from Tony Casillas, and Tim Green finally wrapped him up. He'll need about 1.5 yards for a first down. Third down at the 20-yard line. Gene Stallings, you know, there's no way he's going to be voted Coach of the Year unless his team wins all of the games remaining in the schedule and goes to the Super Bowl. But in many ways, you have to credit the spirit that he's able to generate out of these guys with all the problems they've had. Farrell breaks a tackle and has the first down. Ball comes loose, but after the whistle. John Rady stopped him. But again, the second effort of Earl Ferrell plowing through 2 or 3 guys. I guess all that weight helps him a little bit.
Well, one of the people he plowed through on that play was Tony Casillas. You know, Tony Casillas is playing today against Connie Kawhi, number 57 for the Cardinals, who's getting his first chance at a start in 3 years. And Casillas, I think at this point, is without a doubt the best nose guard in the NFL.
The injured Atlanta Falcon is Robert Moore, who is playing for the injured Tim Gordon. We'll be right back.
It's 8:47. It's 22 degrees. And Andy Cavanna's father is learning all about his antifreeze.
Dad, where are you?
The hard way. Don't push your luck. Guarantee it with Advanced Formula Prestone.
Toyota's 1990 4x4. Don't leave the road without it.
I'm telling you, she sold my house just like that. Dorothy Thompson, Century 21.
They listened to me, so they knew what I wanted.
Century 21? Yeah, my broker sold my house, and I wasn't even in town.
The Century 21 system sells more homes than anybody else because we have more experience than anybody else. But don't take our word for it. Ask a friend.
Come with us. She found us a house with a pool and everything. I'm gonna live here forever. Century 21.
Alabama's 10th-ranked Tide of Crimson rolls into Beaver Stadium to face Paterno and Penn State hot on a 5-game winning streak next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Tim Ryan and Randy Cross here at Sun Devil Stadium. 3:44 to go first quarter. Phoenix on top and threatening again from the 17-yard line of Atlanta. And they have not been a big first quarter team, just 13 points, second least in the NFL. But they're up 7-0 and looking at the end zone now. Albert Shelley came in for Robert Moore at safety. Ron Wolfey is in at running back. Pitch pass out to Indiana Jones, and Jones squirts forward for about a 5-yard pickup away from Deion Sanders, who tripped him up. Ernie Indiana Jones out of the University of Indiana, and the veteran receivers talk about this guy with some affection.
They love to give him a bad time. They say, you know, he likes to talk. He's got a little bit of an ego. You got to smash him down a little bit every once in a while to keep him humble.
And Roy Green does, I think, a lot of that, even though he's not in the lineup today.
These Atlanta cornerbacks are going to have to start playing these wide receivers tighter, or they're going to take these 5, 6, 7-yard gains every time on these quick outs.
Robert Moore back in defensively. Shelley out for Atlanta. Tony Jordan. Phoenix doing a lot of shifting around on that play. And then Jordan in a tailback position, trying for the first down yardage. And he'll be close. See where they spot the ball. It'll leave third down and about a yard.
Much to Atlanta's surprise at this point, Phoenix is running the ball pretty effectively. It's not so much at the point of attack. Phoenix is blocking very effectively on the backside, and the backs have been able to cut up and get their 4 or 5 yards.
3 tight ends in: Awalt, Novacek, and Reeves for Phoenix. Farrell. First down. Cardinals at the 6-yard line of Atlanta.
Tackled by Green.
Tim Green and Albert Shelley on the tackle.
First and goal at the
Time winding down first quarter at Sun Devil Stadium with the Cardinals on top. And now first and goal.
They're not doing anything real complicated, the Phoenix Cardinals. They're just going right at them physically up in the middle, and they're throwing these little quick hitch patterns.
Very quick counts, however, Randy, I think have seemed to have been effective for them. Now a longer one here, but on that first drive, everything came on the first or second count. Short drop, there's that corner. Incomplete, intended for Jones. Good coverage by Scott Case on the play.
They're using some quick play action to keep these linebackers sort of sucked up towards the line of scrimmage, and then they're just lobbing it up in the air for the wide receivers and letting them go after it. A couple times Case has been burned on this pattern. This time the ball is lobbed in there almost perfectly. Great play right there. Just gets his left hand in there and strips the ball away. You know, with these new pass interference rules, Tim, these DBs actually sort of practice pass interference. It's not pass interference anymore, but, you know, they grab guys' arms and the whole thing.
Second and goal. Farrell. Cardinals say they're in. Now the officials do. Touchdown. Six-yard touchdown run for Earl Ferrell, breaking away from Tim Green, showing his power, and his second touchdown today. Del Greco will attempt the point after for a 14-0 lead here still in the first quarter. It is good.
Got a flag down in the area where it's usually either offensive or defensive holding out there on the wings of the extra points.
And some pushing and shoving as a result of that, no doubt, after the play. Referee is Dick Jorgensen today. This is his first call.
Holding number 93, defense. The point is good. 5-yard penalty on the kickoff.
Kind of curious to get a holding on the defense in that situation. That's usually they're trying to pull a guy out of the way so they can block a kick. Here's the replay of the touchdown. Farrell goes up, he goes right in the middle. What we can't see on this play, look at that line churning and pushing those guys, and Farrell is not going to stop. Right there, he's over the plane. That is a touchdown. We got to say something right here. Tony Casillas, I mentioned coming into this thing, was going to dominate the game in the middle. Connie Kawhi is doing a fine job.
I wanted to live in the Rocky Mountain region. 12 or 13 of us have played together now for 8 to 10 years. We just have a good time.
Keep it down. What Tom does is he doesn't care if we make mistakes. He doesn't get down on anybody.
A lot of these players depend on Tom Dater for their life insurance.
It's all teamwork. It's, no individual players.
He's been on their team for 10 years and with New York Life for 18 years.
Why would I buy insurance from a stranger when I can buy it from the worst fullback in Boise?
New York Life, the company you keep.
The following fine items were purchased with Visa cards last year, but not paid for. They were won in the Visa Our Treat sweepstakes. Now all you have to do to enter is use your Visa card, and almost anything you buy just may be our treat. And the more you use your card, the more chances you have to win. So why pay with anything else?
Last week's Miller Lite NFL Player of the Week was Rodney Peete, making him eligible to be Player of the Year. Look for the next winner in Wednesday's USA Today and at the end of the season for the Miller Lite NFL Player of the Year.
Tim Ryan and Randy Cross at Sun Devil Stadium, where the Cardinals have just scored to go up on top 14-0. Eldel Greco will kick off from his 40-yard line because of the defensive penalty to Andre Bruce of Atlanta. So the ball taken 5 deep by Sanders, who hesitates. And Deion Sanders came out short of the 20-yard line. Pulled down by Jay Taylor. Number 27, reserve defensive back.
What we're going to see here is a combination of probably poor judgment on a deep kick like that and great confidence in your own physical ability, because he's not going to get a whole bunch of blocks here. But look at these moves. People just don't make moves like this. Rod Dowhauer mentioned to me that this guy, in his opinion, was superhuman. And Dowhauer is the offensive coordinator. He sees this guy every day in practice going against his receivers.
Sanders got out to the 19 despite that hesitation in the end zone. First down Atlanta, trailing 14-0. Miller on first down again, complete to Michael Haynes. And Haynes close to a first down, about a 9-yard gain out near the 30.
This Atlanta Falcon offense has got to get patient. They've got to move the ball. And most importantly, they got to keep that Atlanta Falcon defense off the field. 4 minutes on the last scoring drive. Cardinals have already scored 14 points, which is more points than they scored in 6 of the other first quarters they played in. So the time of possession here, look at this, 10:22 so far. You got to get this Atlanta defense off the field, because if you don't, late in the game in this heat, Atlanta's not used to this kind of heat.
26 seconds left in the quarter. John Settle is stacked up. Harvey on top. And David Galloway, the initial contact down below. Galloway, number 65, coming back off injuries that have bothered him. David Galloway banged up one thumb a year ago on his left hand, banged up another thumb on his right hand. And we have reached the end of the first quarter here at Sun Devil Stadium. Phoenix 14-0.
It's that special time of year.
Potted plant.
As Major Dad sends the family on Halloween maneuvers.
See the treats? Take the treats.
Major Dad, Monday.
Hey, it's Chris Miller, the quarterback.
How are you guys doing today? I'll never forget that boy who stood off from the others. He seemed to say so much without speaking. His story made me a believer in the United Way. When he was born, doctors thought he was autistic, a child unable to communicate to the world around him. And then when Eric was 5, special testing found that he was profoundly deaf.
I was born deaf. I can hear music or people. I can even hear myself. But because you gave to the United Way, I learned how to use hearing aids. I learned to speak. And now I can do everything other kids could do. I don't know how much you gave to United Way. I just wanted you to know how much you gave me.
United Way, it brings out the best in all of us.
Yeah, you got it.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Miller Lite, official sponsor of the NFL Player of the Year Award. Miller Lite brings you the NFL's best. New York Life, the company you keep. And by Toyota's quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me.
A look at downtown Phoenix in the Valley of the Sun. We are at Sun Devil Stadium here in the beautiful desert state of Arizona, and the Cardinals with a surprising 14-0 lead at the end of the first quarter over the visiting Atlanta Falcons. Now these teams are each 2-4, so the surprising comes from the fact that they have so many starters out and are playing here with a lot of guts and determination. Atlanta, by all accounts, should be a better football team than Phoenix. Miller to Settle. Settle gets out to the 36-yard line and a first down. David Galloway making the tackle, ranging back from defensive end. A 9-yard gain for John Settle. It should be pointed out the number of nicks and bruises that the Falcons are suffering. We saw Michael Haynes make a catch just a couple of plays ago. He's bothered by a sore shoulder. Stacey Bailey has a back injury. Sean Collins hurting a little bit. Settle playing hurt. Gene Lang not ready to go today with a quad injury. So Atlanta certainly bruised and battered as well. Ken Harvey meeting Keith Jones right at the line of scrimmage, and a gain of maybe a yard. Kansas City over Dallas in a high-scoring battle today. The Giants leading San Diego 3-0. And New Orleans on top of the Rams. Lost their first game last week.
From the looks of the Phoenix defense so far, they've got Tim McDonald getting up there within about 3 or 4 yards of the line of scrimmage. They're expecting at this point Atlanta to try to run the ball, and they've been able to shut it down pretty effectively.
2nd and 9 for the Falcons. One setback. Settle. Good protection for Miller. He's got Michael Haynes to the 25-yard line. Cedric Mack stopped him there, but a perfect strike from Chris Miller to Michael Haynes, the second-year man from Northern Arizona.
You hear the term all the time when a quarterback throws a nice ball. He's got great touch. Chris Miller drops back to pass. He's getting a little pressure to his left. He ignores that. Look at the way this ball just floats right in, right on top of Michael Haynes' hands. Fine concentration and catch on Michael Haynes' part.
Haynes and his teammate Sean Collins, the rookie from Northern Arizona, have got a lot of friends and family and fans of Northern Arizona. Flagstaff, about 100 miles, a little more than that from here, coming down to watch them play here in Sun Devil Stadium.
I believe he said 122 miles.
He was very precise. Keith Jones out of the backfield to the 20-yard line. So Atlanta now threatening for the first time in the game after the 43-yard field goal miss by McFadden on their opening drive. Carl Carter and Michael Zordich combining on the tackle. It'll leave 2nd and 2.
You get down here in this red zone inside the 20-yard line, would be a good time to see Chris Miller look for something over the middle, right around the 10, 15-yard line, and maybe the tight end, because that's something Chris Miller thinks it's an area he can exploit.
Jones in motion out of the backfield. Miller to the corner, and incomplete, intended for Collins. Tight coverage on him by Carl Carter, number 41. Sean Collins, interesting that he has become the main man in his rookie year. He's the guy they go to when they need the big play.
They made no bones about it this year, too, Tim. They went from the first day of training camp. They said, you're the guy, you're the starter, you're going to get all the reps. Get in there and learn this offense.
Talking to him, he seemed to like that. Didn't bother him at all.
Oh, he loved it. He said the first regular season game, though, he said, I was supposed to run like 15-yard ends. I'm running 11-yard ends. I'm so nervous I was forgetting my plays, but he's really adjusted well. He's the #1 rookie wide receiver in the league.
3rd down and 2. A little roll by Miller this time. Tried to force it into Haynes, and it was nearly picked off. Batted down by Jay Taylor, the rookie from San Jose State, in the defensive nickel package. 4th down as the Cardinals have stopped the Falcons again.
So far, we've seen Chris Miller throw 2 passes he shouldn't have. And this is the second one. Don't try to force this. Look at this. Where are you throwing this thing? Nobody can catch that. Throw it away. Play smart.
37-yard field goal attempt by McFadden. He has a 38-yarder this season. Missed earlier from 43. And this one is good. Paul McFadden gets the Falcons on the board with 11:54 to play in the first half. Phoenix 14, the Falcons 3.
Baseball cards are real popular these days. For one Ron say, I can get a whole case of my favorite beer, Miller Lite. I don't want some watered-down minor league version of a regular beer. I want the less filling beer that tastes great.
Hey, Ace! Give me 2 cases, you can have this baby.
Dream on.
1 case. Nope. A 6-pack. Half a can?
The big league light beer, Miller Lite, where less filling tastes great.
Okay, I'll give you 2 cases, and you don't have to take the card. But that's my final offer. Must have a couple of mine already.
Whoa. Where'd you get that nose? It's Dad's. How do you shave under that thing?
Introducing the Slim Twin Razor System with the slimmest cartridge to reach every place on every face.
Dave, I'd give Dad back his nose.
New Slim Twin from Schick.
We help more Americans go to college, and we issue more MasterCard and Visa cards than any other company. We also serve millions of customers in every major marketplace worldwide. We're Citicorp and Citibank, America's largest financial services company. Whatever financial success you hope to achieve, whether it's business or personal, we can help you do it, and do it better than anyone else. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
This NFL game summary is sponsored by Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
14-3 Phoenix here at Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, and as things have developed during the week, of course, a big game by Keith Millard could be headed to a sack record in the NFL this season. And the earthquake hitting in the Bay Area, the 49ers are playing at Stanford today. They're scoreless, playing down at Stanford University. Randy, of course, people know you're a former 49er. You live in the area, and you have firsthand feeling about that devastation.
Exactly. I was there. It was a very traumatic event, but I think everybody in the area is ready to sort of, let's get back to business. I think this game and the World Series will really give a message to everybody that the Bay Area is recovered. They're a very resilient group of people.
Well, that's good to hear. Vi Sikahema bringing the kickoff out to the 22-yard line. And of course, it was also good to hear that you and your family were not affected in any real serious way, although I know your offices down in San Jose at your advertising agency were hit.
They got rattled around pretty good. The building sustained some fairly major damage. It's impressive every once in a while to be reminded how powerful and sort of unfeeling Mother Nature can be at times.
Gary Hogeboom, 6 of 8 in this game, and we mentioned the 49ers playing at Stanford today instead of at Candlestick Park. They are trailing New England 7-0 in the first quarter of play. First down, Cardinals. Tony Jordan. Good run up the middle for Jordan to the 32-yard line, about an 8-yard pickup. Now Jordan, a second-year man out of Kansas State, their number 6 pick a year ago. There's a flag on the play. And with the loss of Stump Mitchell, Jordan getting a chance to shine, but he, as he has said each week, he's hoping it would be his day to show that he can at least fill one of those shoes of Stump Mitchell's, but hasn't really had a big opportunity. And today, trying to do the same, a good run there, and it may be wiped out. Jones and
personal foul, blow to the head, number 86, offense, after the play was well over. It'll be second down.
Ernie Jones taking a whack at Scott Case, and a costly penalty wiping out the good run by Jordan.
You know, I'm not going to say Scott Case is a guy that would take cheap shots, because that wouldn't be fair to say that about anybody. But Scott Case's specialty against wide receivers is to get them out of their game. He talks to them, he tries to intimidate them, and obviously in this case he got Ernie Jones distracted and made him take a cheap shot.
So that backs up the Cardinals to their 17-yard line. Quick hitch to Smith. Smith hit immediately by Gilbert, by Bruce, pardon me, number 93. The Cardinals had 2 wideouts out there, and it looked from our angle, which is high, we might point out, that Smith might have reached up and hauled that pass intended for the other wideout. Nonetheless, it didn't turn into much of a gain.
Well, it's the same quick hitch that we've seen earlier, but this time they run it into the 2 wide receiver side and just zipped it out real quick. It could have easily been thrown to Jones out there in the corner.
So Hogeboom from the shotgun on 3rd down and about 16. Marcus Cotton in the game for the pass rush, 4th down lineman for the Falcons. And they get to Hogeboom, sacked. The ball comes loose, but play whistle dead at the 10-yard line. And now more pushing and shoving going on. You got more than 22 guys out there now getting into it because the substitutions had come on the field. Officials have used up virtually every piece of yellow material they have to throw.
Well, this will no doubt be an offsetting penalty, personal foul. But what you're going to see, this film will be sent to Pete Rozell's office, and every one of those guys that came off the benches and did not belong on that field are going to be fined by the league office.
Well, Coach Gene Stallings was right out there in the middle of it, too. I don't mean that he was in the pushing and shoving, but he went right out into the action. Whether he was trying to get his players off the field or was complaining to the officials, we're not sure. But he went right out there about 20 yards onto the field.
Well, one of the offensive linemen for the Cardinals took exception to the celebration of the sack, went up, pushed somebody for the Atlanta team, and then it escalated from there.
It was Marcus Cotton who got to Hogeboom with the sack. And then all of this broke out after the fact. That's Cotton, number 51, who got the sack.
We have a personal foul against the defense. We have a personal foul against the offense. We have unsportsmanlike conduct against number 93, who came off the bench. He is ejected from the game. Who's ejected?
Well, that is Andre Bruce, starting linebacker for the Falcons, their second-year man from Auburn. And he is going to complain, to no avail. Dick Jorgensen has ejected him from the game. Now there's where all of that substitution defense comes into play in a negative way. There's Marcus Cotton. He made the sack.
Now watch this. Look at that. That's Gary Hogeboom. That's the quarterback's in there getting after the linebacker. And there's Andre Bruce. Just came into the screen. Did you see? Jolted in there, knocked the heck out of somebody.
But my point, Randy, is that Bruce may well have been coming onto the field for the next play as they keep changing defenses for various situations. So he may have been coming onto the field anyway. Now he gets into the beef, not saying that he didn't push or shove or whatever, but he may have been somewhat victimized. It may not have been a case where the guy actually ran onto the field to get into the fight. He may have been coming on the field anyway.
Well, victimized or not, Tim, am I right in saying that when you're ejected from a game in the NFL, you have to leave the field? You just go sit down on the bench and grab a drink of water and a little oxygen?
Well, that's what he's doing right now. We'll see whether or not he's asked to literally leave the bench area. So it is 3rd down and 16. And Tupa apparently has come in for Hogeboom for this play at least. May indicate an injury to Hogeboom. We'll wait and see. Tupa is sacked, and it's Marcus Cotton again. 2 sacks in a row for Marcus Cotton, the number 2 pick last year from USC. So Atlanta's defense, which has led the way through the first 6 games of the season, comes up big on this series.
Well, Tupa last week, I should say, had 6 interceptions, just steps up, never really has a chance. Marcus Cotton, the blocking was not that bad. Cotton just came around the backside, and Tupa took so long to throw the ball, he was able to get him for a sack. Yeah, we mentioned a couple minutes ago, Bruce has got to leave the field. He cannot stay on the sidelines, and as of right now, he's still sitting on the sidelines.
Rich Camarillo, the first punt of the afternoon from the end zone. Hits it from the 2. Sanders back at the 45 of Atlanta. Fair catch. And good field position there for the Atlanta Falcons. A 42-yard punt from Camarillo. 14-3, Cardinals on top.
Dodge announces the best, our biggest ever sale on trucks, with the biggest cashback savings ever on our most popular pickups.
Get a ton of money on half-ton pickups. $2,000, 89s and 90s. But see your Dodge dealer's best right away. I don't know how long we can keep this up.
For a bear of a thirst, I reach for it first.
I can drink a lot more,
and it settles the score.
4 fingers, number 7, the taste is pure heaven.
It's the drink of the moon.
It's playing altitude.
It moves Louie's lips.
It shakes Eric's hips. So look out, Pepsi, the move is on. Now we're singing the Diet Coke song.
Diet Coke has the real cola taste you can drink a lot more of because it's just 1 calorie.
Yo, just for the taste of it, Diet Coke.
My Uncle Roy T. Cashin was killed when I was 11 years old. It had a lot to do with me wanting to become a volunteer fireman.
Good morning, Neil. How you doing?
We have a lot of trust in each other because our lives are in each other's hands.
Many of these firefighters trust Neil Cashin with their life insurance. He's been with New York Life a long time, and with the fire department even longer.
If he's in a building with you, you don't have to worry about him leaving on you.
New York Life, the company you keep.
There's more to life than fighting crime. Wise guy.
Tim Ryan and Randy Cross here at Sun Devil Stadium, where Phoenix leads Atlanta 14-3. 9:26 to play in the first half. You're looking at Andre Bruce. We're told that he can stay on the bench until the end of the quarter, and then he must leave the premises, if you will, and hopefully we'll find a TV set to watch the rest of the game. But again, without I'm certain the officials fingered him correctly as one of the culprits out there, but you do wonder whether or not he was coming on the field for the next down. He may or may not have been, but that's with all of the defensive substitution that goes on virtually every play now, that's a possibility. First down Atlanta from their own 45-yard line, trailing 14-3. Jones got less than a yard. Good defensive play by Eric Hill, the rookie middle linebacker, number 58, along with Anthony Bell and Carl Wilson. Second and 9. So Atlanta with a good defensive series despite all of the brouhaha that took place out there, stopping Phoenix cold after the Cardinals had been rolling through the first quarter to a 14-0 lead. Miller just over the outstretched hands of Michael Haynes, number 81. Carl Carter one-on-one coverage, flag down back at the line of scrimmage.
And it's right in that area that usually means offensive holding.
Chris Miller telling you, Randy, that Haynes had been running in
Correction,
practice with
the
one
foul's
arm.
on the offense.
Holding is the call. Dick Jorgensen makes it. That Haynes had been running downfield, having to
Illegal
hold.
hands to the face. Number 79, offense, 10 yards, still second down.
Bill Fralick is the man charged with hands to the face.
Well, sometimes accidentally when you're pass blocking, your hands will get up around the face and face mask area of a defensive lineman. Purely accidental. No one would ever do a thing like that on purpose.
Of course, Randy. I accept that. I accept that. Michael Downs and Jay Taylor and Marcus Turner all in the secondary now on this 2nd and 20. Facing Chris Miller and the Falcons. 2nd and 19 officially. A 1-yard gain on first down. Settle is stuffed behind the line of scrimmage by Rod Sadler. And with the second effort by Settle, as best he could do, got to the line of scrimmage. It'll leave 3rd and 19. Ken Flowers, number 48, comes in as Settle's shoe came off.
That's when you know you're running good, when you start running right out of your shoes.
Well, yeah, that happened to Herschel Walker in his first game with the Vikings, and he got another 20 yards with one shoe off.
Traction? I don't need traction.
3rd and 19, one setback. Jones on the wing. Miller to Flowers, incomplete. Good hit on him by Jay Taylor, number 27, breaking up the pass play.
Tim, we mentioned at the top of the show about this Phoenix Cardinal intensity. People say they've been hurt. They've had suspensions. How can they play so good? Miller flips this out to Flowers. He catches it. Then to his credit, he goes back after the ball. Finds hit there by Taylor. But this Cardinal team is playing way over their head right now. They're playing for Gene Stallings and they're playing for pride.
10 starters have been hurt for the Phoenix Cardinals this year. First punt by Fulhag, taken at the 22-yard line by Sikahema, and he is hit immediately. Albert Shelley made the stop. So with 7:39 to go in the half, 14-3 Phoenix lead.
In today's higher revving and hotter running engines, wear is a greater problem than ever before. Oil breakdown can shorten the life of vital engine parts. That's why there's Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol, because driving today can be a grind. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.